Hello dear viewers of our channel. Today we will talk about which dairy products are allowed for people with diabetes. In particular, what types of milk can be consumed, is it possible to drink lactose-free milk, or which types of milk can be taken, which milk is the most beneficial for people with diabetes. We will find out. Recently there have been a lot of questions about milk. Since there have been so many questions, we chose this topic for today. So what is milk itself and what is in the composition of cow's milk? So, in 100 milliliters of cow's milk, there can be up to 5 grams of sugar, and the main part of this is lactose. There is a little more than 3 grams of protein and 3.5 grams of fat, and the amount of fat varies depending on the fat content. It can be 1%, 3%, or even up to 6% fat. As you can see, every statement we make is carefully based on reliable articles and sources that are either proven or taken from reliable sources as noted below. That is, the source will be listed under each slide for your reference. This way, you can easily check the information if you wish. By basing our statements on sources, we distinguish ourselves from ordinary Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube bloggers who just provide hype-driven information. This is where we show our difference from such bloggers. In other words, everything we say is reliable. Lactose-free milk is produced by adding an enzyme to regular milk, which breaks down lactose into galactose and glucose. Lactose-free milk is created in this way. In lactose-free milk, the sugar is not a disaccharide but is in monosaccharide form, which is absorbed quickly and rapidly increases blood sugar and insulin levels. In lactose-free milk, breaking down lactose with an enzyme causes its insulin and glycemic index to rise significantly. The insulin index is almost 90. And according to some sources, it can increase by up to 200%. The glycemic index rises from 27 to as high as 40. So, lactose-free milk is just ordinary marketing. If you think it's beneficial, so that you buy it. Now, if lactose-free milk is harmful, you might wonder which milk is actually beneficial for diabetes. Let's find out now. Let's go back to lactose-free milk for a moment. The insulin index of lactose-free milk is equal to that of regular sugar or white bread. Remains true even though its glycemic index is not high, its insulin index is high, which leads to the synthesis of large amounts of insulin. Excess insulin increases insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is the main reason for the rise in blood sugar levels in diabetes. When insulin is present in large amounts, it happens, but it does not lower blood sugar. Consuming lactose-free milk increases insulin resistance. Here are 2 articles about diabetes and milk. The first one was published in the journal Diabetes Care in 2019. The study was published in the year 2019. People who consume 2 or 3 servings of milk each day tend to have higher insulin levels after eating a meal, and drinking milk did not lower or significantly change their blood sugar levels. Our second article appeared in the scientific journal Nutrients in the year 2021. Consuming yogurt and dairy products increases insulin resistance, and the benefits of full-fat milk are not greater than those of fat-free milk. Were found to be greater than those of the fat-free types. In other words, consuming fat-free milk, thinking it's beneficial, is incorrect. It can actually be more harmful. When the fat content is higher, the insulin index of milk decreases slightly, but this does not mean that drinking regular cow's milk or lactose-free milk should be your choice. I am going to teach you about much better types of milk that are suitable for diabetes. Let me show you now. Some of the alternative milks you previously thought were allowed will no longer be allowed starting today. Let's find out why now. We will look at the full composition of alternative milks, what percentage of which ingredients they contain. We will also study their insulin index and everything else. The first milk is oat milk. We used to say it was allowed, but let me warn you, from today, oat milk is not allowed. In 100 milliliters of oat milk, there are between 7 and 9 grams of carbohydrates, mainly starch and maltose. Maltose, which is a type of sugar, is also generally considered to be a type of starch as well. There can be up to 2 to 3 grams of sugar, 1 gram of protein, 1 to 1.5 grams of fat, and half a gram of fiber. Its glycemic index is 60 to 70, so it is not allowed, friends. You might be confusing glycemic and insulin indexes a little. The glycemic index of sugar. The glycemic index is equal to 65. So, since the glycemic index of oat milk is even higher than regular sugar, it is not allowed from today. Because its effect is stronger than that of sugar, starting today it is not allowed. I am speaking based on 3 clear and reliable sources. Next, we have almond milk. In 100 milliliters of almond milk, there are 0.3 to 0.6. There are grams of carbohydrates. Sugar is almost 0. There is just over half a gram of protein and 1 to 1.5 grams of fat. And these fats are monounsaturated fats, meaning they are fatty acids that are beneficial for the body. The glycemic index is 20, sometimes even less, even lower than 20. That's why it's considered beneficial for diabetes. Our next milk is soy milk. In 100 milliliters, there are up to 2 grams of carbohydrates, up to 1 gram of sugar. There are more than 3 grams of protein, around 2 grams of fat, and the fats are, not monounsaturated, but polyunsaturated fatty acid. That is, they're beneficial. The glycemic index is approximately 30, and it's allowed for diabetics. It's considered suitable for our intended use. Now, moving on to our next milk, which is coconut milk. In 100 milliliters of coconut milk, there are up to 2.5 grams of carbohydrates and a little over 1 gram of sugar and 5 grams of fat. Its glycemic index is about 35, and it's considered permissible for diabetics. Because it contains more fat, it shouldn't be consumed in large amounts. Our next milk, and one of the most dangerous types of milk, is rice milk. This plant-based milk alternative contains up to 12 grams of carbohydrates per 100 milliliters. This consists of glucose polymers. Always remember one thing: the carbohydrate in rice is starch that is quickly and easily digested, rapidly broken down, and causes a quick spike in blood sugar. If you soak some rice in water for a while and then blend the softened rice thoroughly, you can then separate the resulting liquid from the solid rice pieces. By straining or filtering, you will obtain a white, milky liquid called rice milk. This milk contains 12 grams of carbohydrates, that same finely ground, quickly digestible starch, in addition to up to 4 grams of sugar, up to 1 gram of fat, and its glycemic index ranges from 79 to 86. If we consider that sugar has a glycemic index of 65, this milk turns out to be even more harmful than regular sugar. So all of this has been proven based on articles. Camel milk is also often asked about. Camel milk is allowed for diabetes. Here, we haven't shown the glycemic index and composition. Next time, we can show them. The final conclusion is this: from today onward, cow's milk, lactose-free milk, rice milk, and oat milk are not permitted for consumption. We have fully explained the composition of the remaining beneficial milks to you. Thank you for your kind attention. See you next time.